So I clearly have a little bit of a problem. These are some of the sunscreens that I've been using and testing this year, but I'm trying to turn my hobby into something that I hope is useful to a few of you out there. Today, I want to share the best of the sunscreens that I used and tried in 2024 and the reasons why. My overall favorite sunscreens of the year were Abib's Heartleaf Sun Essence Calming Drop and Beauty of Joseon's Relief Sun Cream. Both are chemical sunscreens with non-FDA-approved UV filters. I haven't talked about the Abib sunscreen before, so I'll share a few details on this one. The consistency is like a light lotion. So light, in fact, that it took me some time to get used to it because it kept running away from me. But once I got used to it, I loved how light it felt on my skin and the silky finish. It wears well by itself and also layers well under makeup. I didn't experience any pilling with use, but this will also depend on what other products you're layering on top and beneath. Beauty of Joseon's Relief Sun was a close second for me, but I thought that the finish on the Abib was just a touch nicer. This sunscreen also provides strong UVA and UVB protection, applies nicely to the skin, and layers well with makeup and other skincare. I also wish that more companies offered their products in this same type of compressible packaging. It makes it so the sunscreen doesn't have to be stored upright and you know exactly how much is left. For more details on this one, you can check out my full video review. Price-wise, it's also a little bit less expensive than the Abib, which I find to be a plus. I found this Beauty of Joseon sunscreen to be similar to the Round Lab Birch Juice sunscreen that's also really popular. Most of the ingredients in these sunscreens are identical anyway, and they were produced by the same manufacturer. I went into detail on this topic in a recent video, but I do prefer the Beauty of Joseon sunscreen because of the packaging and lower price. Honorable mention to Skin 1004's Hyalu Sika Sun Serum, which is another popular Korean sunscreen. Overall, the feel, finish, and filters on this were good too. And because of the pump packaging, one thing I didn't like is that it should be stored upright, which I don't appreciate because I like clean countertops, so I throw everything into my drawers. Next, for my favorite sunscreen with US FDA-approved filters only, it's still the La Roche-Posay and Thelios Melton Milk SPF 100 sunscreen. It provides excellent UVB protection, feels like a light lotion, and it has a non-greasy finish, plus it's easy to buy in the US. More details are in this linked video if you're interested. Moving on to mineral sunscreens. This was a tough one. Most of the so-called mineral sunscreens that I saw had inactive ingredients that were very similar to chemical UV filters. This is called sunscreen doping, using ingredients that are similar to chemical UV filters that aren't regulated by the FDA so that these ingredients can be listed in the inactive section. I think that this is misleading. One of the most common sunscreen doping ingredients is butyl-octyl salicylate, which is very similar to the chemical UV filter octisalate. If you look at the ingredients list of your favorite mineral sunscreen, I wouldn't be surprised if you saw butyl-octyl salicylate on there. While I'm perfectly comfortable using chemical sunscreens for myself, when someone asks me for a mineral sunscreen recommendation, they're telling me that they don't want to use chemical UV filters, so these enhanced mineral filters don't really fit what they're looking for. So very reluctantly, I admit that the best true mineral sunscreen that I tried recently is the one by Pavis. The reason I'm reluctant to say this is because it's super expensive, but it is hard to make a cosmetically elegant mineral sunscreen without doping it with ingredients that are similar to chemical UV filters, which is why so many companies add chemical UV filter-like ingredients. Another one that I thought was reasonable and much less expensive was the Biore UV Kids Pure Milk Sunscreen. Is this my favorite sunscreen that I've tried ever? Absolutely not. It takes time to rub into the skin, it has a little bit of a white cast, and it feels a bit greasy. But it is an okay option that's super inexpensive, and it's good for a true mineral sunscreen if that's important to you. Now onto niche categories. European sunscreens won both of these categories, and both of the winners have non-FDA approved UV filters. First, La Roche-Posay's UVMune 400 Oil Control Gel Cream. I like this one for its oil control and water resistance, but it definitely makes me teary when it gets near my eyes. I also have no idea why they call this a gel cream. This doesn't feel like a gel at all. It has the consistency of Elmer's glue that's been squeezed out and left to sit for a minute or two. It also has a pretty strong chemical smell, but I still like it for its oil control and water resistance. Next, the best for on-the-go application for me is SVR's Sun Secure Pocket Spray. I love how portable it is, how slim it is. It's about the dimensions of some credit cards stacked together. The formula itself is easy to spread, absorbs well, has strong UV filters, and it has a very nice light fragrance that makes me feel like a rich lady on a tropical vacation. That's it for my 2024 sunscreen recap. Can you comment below with your thoughts on these sunscreens? And don't forget to like and subscribe if you like content like this. See you next time.